here for our first map of the evening. It's actually after midnight here, but I'm going to call it evening anyway, because I don't know where the hell you people are. But we are here on Overgrowth, and down on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have from Team Outback Steakhouse, it is Kommatiazo.
Oh man, that's pretty good. And his opponent in the top right-hand corner, I guess, as we know, is notorious for cheesing, as is the team that he represents, which is the Chobo Team League 6, repping the orange chunks. Your Protoss player in the top right of Overgrowth, it is ExtraneouS.
Sure is. And the timing of that was interesting. I wonder if he did that, like, is this going to be canceled, or is this going to be... Because it's weird, there's no probe out or anything. And he put down the forge, like, right in the face of a drone. And usually you would not do such a thing.
Yeah, what is the... I mean, you know, maybe... So he said in the ladder on the start of this game that he was going to maybe build a Nexus, but now a probe is coming out. That's a... You know, as we know, a decently late forge. He doesn't have any, you know, probes on the map, and that one probe gets scattered by the Overlord. So at this point, you know, an early pull from Kommatiazo, like...
Oh, he's going to Haas block. Or not, I mean... I call it Hasblock because he did it to Jaedong, but people were doing it for months before that. But that's what he's doing. So he's going for the massive pylon block.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's a lot of pylons.
I did this for months.
Talk me through it.
Okay, so yeah, I used to do this like 6 months ago for a while. Eventually, people caught on, but it's kind of coming back now. But yeah, so you do this massive wall off, and then you put cannons behind that. And basically, if there weren't already Lings out, then this will definitely finish in time. And you basically contain them completely.
Oh my God, now he's throwing down a gateway behind this wall as these Lings from Kommatiazo start the pylon down as they can. But I mean, is it going to be enough? Because it seems like he's got a pretty decent wall here.
He's got a good wall, but the cannon is a little bit late. It's the fact that there are Lings out a bit sooner. Because he did go pool first, but he will get it up. Will this one cannon fall, though?
Ooh, it's pretty close, coming down to 2 Lings, and it does manage to stay alive, so cancels the gateway, and he's going to go ahead and be able to block off this hatchery. That's, I mean...
Yeah, and he let the hatchery finish, too, which is fairly large when there's 3 cannons there.
Yeah, that's going to go down, and now he's taking the gold base with the Nexus, so the follow-up is, like, equally as ballsy as the investment we just saw. All of that just to get rid of 1 hatchery.
Yeah. The idea is the actual contain, so I'm a little surprised he didn't remake a pylon in front of the other cannon. Because of that.
Yeah, he needs to not lose his queen. Kommatiazo's queen's getting targeted by these cannons. And anything that goes by is basically dying. There is a spine crawler in the creep, but the creep is going to go away, and that, you know, RP spine crawler. As these probes are going to transfer, I think the Lings are going to catch them out on their way to the gold base. So the probe, the Overlord sees it anyway.
I don't think they're going to, yeah, exactly. You can see everything going. So yeah, the way this is supposed to work, and this is at least successful because it took down, and he put a creep tumor down on his own.
Oh, that's really good play then.
That's really interesting. But yeah, the way this is supposed to work is the contain, because the idea is you keep all the units in, and then you actually have time to build up on the outside, because they literally can't send anything out.
I really like this from Kommatiazo, though, right? Because he spots the gold finished, and then now he's got a Roach Worm back home, so he's looking pretty comfortable. He just has to drone up and kind of play the same game that his opponent's playing.
Well, the gold, because of the gold thing, and he delayed his gateway, delayed his cybernetics core, Warp Gate hasn't started yet. Like, Kommatiazo could get 7 roaches and win the game.
Yeah, and he looks like he wants to actually at least eventually establish a natural, because he's laid down that creep tumor and he's getting spine crawlers. I think the thing is if Kommatiazo is able to take out this Nexus, then all that work ExtraneouS just did is basically null and void. He needs to micro these Lings, though, because the Zealot's going to be able to take them all out. He needs to do something. Okay, now he doesn't. He can actually poke around. With 4 Lings, it would be a lot easier than with just 2, but he can do this ad infinitum if he wants to, and it eventually take out this this Nexus. But more probes are going to transfer, and I think try and take out these Lings.
Yeah, unfortunate, because with 4 Lings, he could have just killed the Zealot if he might.
Right. Yeah.
But he will go got spines up now that are going to go after these cannons up front. Is getting roaches behind this, which is a pretty good call. There is a what I thought was interesting. There was a Twilight Council, which I kind of assumed was going to go into DT because he got caught with the gold, but he's getting charged.
Yeah, it's an interesting move. He's getting +1 weapons as well as Warpgate's about to finish up with 2 gateways added on. If he's able to keep this, this gold alive for an extended period of time to keep mining from it, which he seems to be perfectly happy to be doing right now, and then he gets like a massive number of zealots out with that extra bonus, as Kommatiazo's decision is to go ahead and take the gold himself. I don't think that's a great, good decision from him. Obviously, I can see everything that's going on, but I think Kommatiazo needs to make a play on that gold, because if he doesn't, there's going to be a ton of charge lots in a not too long time.
Yeah,
6 gateways added on.
I think these roaches are going to go and try and do something there, and probably will at least delay mining. When I've seen a Zerg successfully come back from being stopped like that, it's usually just an immediate attack. It's an immediate Nidus Worm or an immediate just roach rush.
And I mean, that's not a bad idea from any sort of cheese that you suffer from. If it's a 2-racks, you're going to make a bunch of lings to deal with that anyway. You might as well send them across the map eventually.
Yeah, so he'll go after probes here.
Really good decision, I think, because the Nexus is always going to be able to take an out.
Yeah, that can't move. Yeah. Pretty much, and then 2 roaches going after them, 2 on the Nexus itself.
Really good decision making from Kommatiazo.
There's a few major things that aren't out there. The mothership core has never been built, so this is all Zealot. So there's not going to be any photon overcharges or anything to defend any expansions. Not that there are any anymore.
No, and I think this is like Kommatiazo's cup of tea. Like, he's macroing, he feels comfortable in this position. You know, in one of the groups, I think it was around a 16 actually, he was able to 4-0 out of that group. He even spots the forward pylon, which was just in range of the Xel'Naga Tower, I believe. But regardless, he sees it. And now ExtraneouS is going to know that the gold is taken for his opponent. So, I mean, if the alarm bells weren't going off for the Protoss player already, they should be now.
Definitely, and I really like what Kommatiazo is doing here. He has now identified, the weakness to this is that this is going to have no detection at all. So getting the burrow, getting the roach speed, he's going to be able to infinitely burrow roaches, and there's nothing that can see him in the near future. And
I mean, let's be honest, Zealots don't do well against roaches anyway. Roaches are, in my opinion, do you think that, like...
The roaches definitely slaughter them.
My bad.
With charge.
Okay, with charge. Okay.
With charge, it's better because, like, if a zealot actually is sitting there meleeing a roach, the thing is, roaches usually don't let them do that.
Right.
But so it's a little better, but it's still pretty bad.
And then we're getting tunneling claws, even, just in case. Yeah. And I mean, at this point, Kommatiazo has such a lead. These zealots are going to come up and they're going to see all these roaches with the spine collar there at the gold. The charge does happen and he gets on top of them, but if you kite away on creep, never a good combination. And there's just not enough surface area here, but there are a lot of zealots, so no. Too many roaches, I think.
It just doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Too many roaches. They're getting tunnels anyway, burrowing when they need to and healing absurdly quickly like they're known to do.
It was a neat idea. I like seeing that. I like seeing the pylon block. But hey, GG.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Senate StarCraft League. We've got some quarterfinal action for you here. Defender League, of course, platinum players and one gold player, a couple gold players sprinkled throughout. But we're going to go ahead and right into these player introductions. Spotting the top left corner. Where am I? Top right corner? Oh my god, my mouse is going crazy. Top right-hand corner of Inferno. You know that map. Inferno Pools, Inferno Springs, whatever it is. Chobo Team League 6 is... No, that's ExtraneouS. I am all over the place today. What's going on with me? Representing Outset Gaming, it is Kommatiazo. What's this? It's Inferno Pools,
It's
right?
Inferno Pools,
Okay, Jesus.
Secret Spring. Secret Spring Inferno Pools.
Is the other one.
All right. And over on the left-hand side of the map, we do have, this one is representing Chobo Team 6. It is ExtraneouS.
And we do have some crazy play going on right now.
I like it.
Kommatiazo is getting the gold base. which
I
is
think it's such a good call too on this when he sees like a forward thrust expand on a really big ramp. There's no way anyone's going to be aggressive within the next like 5 minutes. So this is like an awesome gold base take.
yeah, and I mean he did it. I don't know if he did it when he scouted it because
Yeah, I don't think he knew. I think you're right. Yeah, I think he was going to do it anyway.
And I think the drone just sees it. The drone just sees it.
Yeah.
But regardless of that fact, he can't necessarily punish it unless he cannon rushes it. And there are 4 lings on the way, and I think they'll be just enough if Kommatiazo reacts to be able to defend and hold his gold base.
Yeah, I mean, it should be, the best he could have right now, and he doesn't have that because he did Forge first. But even if he had opened Gateway, he could have a Zealot, and 4 lings would be long enough to hold for a Queen.
And he's following the probe with the drone, and he also has the Overlord to get the above-ground scout, and a Spine Crawler already morphing on the ground, and a couple lings making their way onto the map. So, I mean, this is a perfect call from Kommatiazo, some pretty innovative play that is not cheese, and it's actually going to work out extremely in his advantage, even though, ExtraneouS has scouted it. I think that this is going to just spiral out of control for the Protoss player, and Kommatiazo is going to look like an absolute StarCraft genius after this.
Yeah, it's almost already shaping up to be that way. He's got not only is this a gold base, like in the normal sense that this is going to be tons of minerals or whatever. This is like might as well be a proxy hatch. This is the best launching ground for attacks. It's like 3 feet away from your opponent's front door. So this is definitely the best spawns that he could have got to do this too. Yes, it makes it vulnerable. Obviously, you can be attacked in 3 feet as well. But obviously, Kommatiazo is the one with the initiative here.
Yeah, and that was an interesting little pylon block at the top of the ramp we saw at ExtraneouS. I think he's been caught off guard a little bit and just trying to make something happen, and that was just not the case at all. We do have... Is that a +1 air weapons upgrade?
It is. It is. That cannot be intended.
Well, we've got a Stargate on the way.
I guess maybe it is. Okay, well, never mind, because I know that obviously he does ridiculous things. So this is obviously part of some plan, but I feel maybe it's not part of the plan given what's occurring.
I mean, okay, so here's a question I have, and this is a legitimate question that I don't actually know the answer to. I'm assuming it's going to be oracles, but the Pulsar Beam is it's a spell, right?
It's a spell, you're right. It doesn't.
So you can't upgrade a spell,
right,
much like the Seeker Missile. So it's it's
be,
weird to me.
It could be Void Ray, it could be Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like, Phoenix would still benefit, but it's probably going to be Void Ray.
Yeah, and I mean there's a Void Ray, so confirming our suspicions that what it was going to be. But if you're going to get an air weapons upgrade and then pump out a Void Ray, you've got to have a lot of air infrastructure behind that, and it doesn't really seem like ExtraneouS has got that. I don't want to eat my words before it's too early, but there's nothing to defend it at the same time from Kommatiazo aside from the trusty Queens, which he's got 3 of them at the gold. So one Stargate producing Void Rays at a time,
and
unless you're like chrono boosting them out super quickly, it's not going to cut the job, is it?
Right. No, it's they're good against structures. Like, if you get a few Void Rays in and you turn the charge on and attack the structures, it'll take it down, but the Queens are pretty good against them. They can transfuse, they can be rebuilt. There is a Spore down. A Spore is just awesome.
Yeah.
Spores
not just
are like
for the Void
best.
Ray, but detection, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're just so good overall. And he's,
throwing down a fleet beacon at the same time from our Protoss player, and of course...
And he's even getting, like, a 4th Queen out to that gold base, so, like, it's almost impossible to see, like, an air attack taking it down.
Down at the bottom of the base, though, ExtraneouS is taking his own gold.
He sure did.
But
he's doing it right under an Overlord, but that's fine.
Instantly spotted, and there's a bunch of lings that are going to be sent over, and they're going to be able to cancel this because there's, by the way, nothing here to stop this. So he's going to let the assimilators finish at least, but canceling the Nexus. And I think ExtraneouS is just kind of trying to find what he could possibly do here.
Yeah, what do I do from here?
Yeah, I think
he's getting. I mean, he's got the fleet beacon. I imagine he'll go to +2 air. He could try and get Tempest because there's certainly nothing long range. So if you got a Tempest, eventually that would kill everything.
Well, there's the mothership core already. So I mean, it's not huge because we don't have layers just now. On the way, 50 seconds more. But detection with overseers is crucial to that. But we already have a spore crawler, and he canceled it. So that it's kind of regardless of the situation anyway. And the creep is already right up here.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be very difficult for ExtraneouS to do anything.
Yeah, this is all very interesting. He spotted the other third here. And once again, the extractors are going to finish, but maybe he'll cancel the rest. Is he going to let all these pylons finish?
By the way, carriers is the call. He has let the pylons finish, so they're all going down. But carriers is the call.
Okay.
Stargate.
Carriers. I would have wanted one Tempest because he's got to do something to stop this encroachment. But he can still do that in a second. But at least one because he needs something that's ranged better than this other stuff.
Yeah, and Kommatiazo really hasn't seen his economic advantage like turn into a supply advantage. He's still only like 7 supply above his opponent. But he's saving up minerals, he's saving up gas. I'm assuming he's hitting his injects. He's got 4 more queens on the way in an infestation pit. Yeah. We do have a Tempest on the way. Yeah. Speed is just about to finish up, though. We have the infestation pit, and then I'm assuming, all the natural stuff that comes with that. Of course, we'd like to see some Hydralisks from him, but he's getting 10 drones out now, and it's looking like, he's shaping up to take a 4th when he wants to and just deny his opponent a 3rd base for as long as he can.
Yeah, a bunch of five more spore crawlers coming down here. And obviously, like I said, that's where the Tempest comes into play, because without that you can't go into it. But he'll at least be able to pick away at that as the first one does pop out. Warp gate research underway.
At the minute 13.
13 mark, yeah.
I mean, this is why you watch, this style of StarCraft, because as the queens make their way up into the natural ramp, I mean, how often do you see this type of play? A spine crawler at the natural ramp of a Protoss player 2 and a bunch of spore crawlers. There are Tempests and carriers coming down on these units with the time warp. One queen does go down and a second one shortly, but the Void Rays, putting out a lot of damage, get a little bit of hold damage. I mean, how do you see this fight going? This is just such a, I don't know how to call this one almost.
I don't know, and we're about to see something else that I have no idea about, which is that we are upgrading flying locusts.
Oh yes.
So I have no idea.
Swarm host upgrade. Yeah. That's right. We don't have. We did the Swarm host patch, man. This is okay. Everyone, we're all about to learn how to do the StarCraft from now on. This is a new meta of HOTS just in time for Legacy of the Void to come out. Yeah. 3 Swarm hosts on the way. They take up 4 supply these days, as well as a Hydralisk Den. And so, I mean, if ever you wanted a siege unit, I guess. For air, this is the route, right?
Yeah, I guess the idea here is he could land. He's got 5 out. He's got 3 more coming. He could just fly into the main and just go right either for the mineral line or take out all the tech right now.
They're so quick. They're so quick. These new Stormos. They're so speedy.
They are much faster.
Look at how quick they are. They're just running right across the map. Just gotta get to where we gotta go. Just run.
Yeah, so these spores are kind of trying to hold out here. The zealots have charged him, but they're going to die. He may have seen one swarm host run by.
Yeah, the spine crawlers are going to be able to make short work of these zealots eventually, but the swarm hosts are going to burrow. It's going to be 7 of them together eventually. They don't burrow these days, do they?
No, I don't even really know how they work. Yeah, it is 8 of them. I think you have to manually spawn, which they are now.
There they go. They're these little whatever the fuck they are going, and they're attacking them. I mean,
the damage they do is insane.
That's pretty massive, and the cybernetics core is going to be targeted here if they can live long enough.
Absolutely murdering that warp in.
Oh wow, that was.
But the zealots are actually chasing this entire rest of this back. There's 2 zealots that are still just in this line here now. Now 13 hydras are coming out. Those are good.
I think that now that I've just seen the Swarm Host unit, I think it might be absolutely worthless.
It's interesting. I don't know what's happening now. Like, I don't know. I guess because they don't. The thing is, you have to research burrow.
Yeah. Okay.
So they can still burrow, like to hide, but you have to research it. They don't just.
Regardless, we've got 5 Tempests, 2 carriers coming down. Hydralisks aren't gonna be able to solve that. is Extraneous actually going to be able to pull it off? Because Kommatiazo has just now got his 4th and 5th in the natural 4th and 5th positions, but I don't think he has the units to deal with this composition at the start. I mean, he's going to bang out some more Hydralisks and maybe do something with these Swarm Hosts, but I mean, Extraneous for the first time in this match is looking like he might have a foothold back into things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this lead is going to be hard to stop. There's time a little bit, but like these other 2 bases have finished. There are 2 macro hats. I mean, look at how much, how many larvae Kommatiazo has. He has 64 larvae.
Jesus. Yeah.
But he has used most of his gas because he made all the Swarm Hosts. He's got a couple of Vipers out, which is just pure experimentation, pulling in the carrier there.
Oh yeah, it's going to get one over the Spore Crawlers. That's pretty nice. The second
another one. And they will take that one down. And now that the Hydras can get direct on the Tempest, I think they will have to go away. There are still a lot of them, though, and the Zealots will come to reinforce. Now these Hydras do have to back out.
Wow, that's pretty good play from Extraneous, combining the Zealots and the Tempest, getting the Zealots in on top of the Hydras and kind of negating their range factor against the Tempests because they have to shoot the guys that are attacking them in the face with the side blades unless you manually target them.
Right, now this is interesting. The follow-up is 90 Zerglings.
Oh God!
Which is perfectly valid when you think about it, because how long does it take Tempest to kill 90 Zerglings?
Holy shit! Jesus, that's a lot of Zerglings going to get surrounds on Zealots. You're right. Tempest have to single target. So if I'm Kommatiazo, do I just A-move my Lings across the entire map right now?
I would. I guess.
That seems to be the point. That's what he's doing. Oh, he needs to not talk to those Zealots. He needs to just go right for the heart, I think he needs to do. There we go. There we go, Kommatiazo. Get those Lings across the map and see what damage we can do. How many Tempests do we have? A lot. A lot.
So he will get in here now. 90 Lings going after stuff. But the Warpins are still going to be good enough to hold this, like, in this choke position. There's no upgrades on it either, so it's not like they're good for that.
Yeah, and Kommatiazo he hasn't spotted the 3rd.
Where are the... Like, there's still 6 Swarm Hosts. They should be... There's no reason that they're not still just attacking the main.
What?
Really? Interesting. Interesting.
GG!
We are here with the series tied 1-1. Up on the top left-hand corner of the map, we have from Team Outset Gaming. It is a Kommatiazo.
You got some Japanese-style accent coming in on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did see him throw down a spawning pool first, so just a little bit of gamemanship already. But in the bottom left-hand corner of Jevdwing, his opponent, representing Chobo Team League 6, the orange Protoss player, ExtraneouS. I almost said the purple Protoss player, because alliteration is a nice thing sometimes.
That is nice, sir. People should pick their colors based on that. I always do purple Protoss. So
right?
Yeah.
The Teal Terran.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no Z for Zerg because...
No, you can make things up. I don't know. I don't even know, what other color. Like, some colors, you can just call them different things. Like, teal
Pink
can be light
fuchsia.
blue, or exactly, or like purple is lavender or something. But there's still nothing that's going to give you a Z.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
You're gonna have to really try for that. I mean, I'm not gonna try for it. The Zergs, I think, have to try for that.
Yeah,
so.
they've got to make colors up. Come on, Zergs.
But we do have a Nexus first out of ExtraneouS, so something I don't think many were expecting. Kommatiazo went for a spawning pool first, of course, and he's getting early Lings out, Queens, and all the lovely stuff that Zergs like to do, and he's actually going to be able to take out this probe, so that's a pretty nice pickup. But do you expect some early aggression out of our Zerg player?
The opening kind of indicated that, although he has only made the 4 Lings. I given how he did it, I expected him actually to make a few more. And it would have been a good decision to make more, because this whole thing is still exposed. So these 4 Lings coming down are actually going to have a good little time at this natural. Because the Zealot's not going to be able to come and get them just yet.
Yeah, and back home he is getting a third hatchery up rather quickly, so you know, maybe putting a rest on things as these 3 lings come in and work on the pylon. One was left back home at the Xel'Naga Tower. And microed correctly, they can still take out the Zealot as he takes off. It has to be every 2 hits. Oh, and he loses that one.
He came back.
Now he can't do it. He's going to go ahead and lose all 3 Zerglings, actually.
Where'd the four? Oh, yeah, he left the 4th one at the tower.
He left him at the tower.
Yeah, if he had that guy, he could have got him. Or if he had made 6. That's often why, if you're going to be aggressive, they do make 6. Because 6 is just, it easily takes the Zealot out. Like, you don't even have to pay attention. Yeah.
One thing I do like from our Zerg player is that he's gone up to 3 hatches, and so Flash does this a lot, and you know, Flash is a Terran obviously, but what I'm saying is if he scouts an early you know, expansion against his opponent, he'll say, okay, you know what, you're probably not going to attack me for very long, so I'm going to go ahead and just double you, and I'm going to go for 2 Nexi or, you know, CC. He's obviously a Terran, so 2 CCs right off the bat, and that's exactly what Kommatiazo has done. And he said, okay, I saw your early Nexus, you're not coming here for a little bit, I'm a Zerg player, I'm going to take a 3rd hatch and basically wait until you show me what's going on.
Now this probe trying to sneak up, he's trying to place a pylon behind the 3rd base, but it has to back away as he's got caught on the watchtower. And we do have more gateways coming out and trying to be lined up with the warp gate. And we get a freeze. And, oh, that's you. I was wondering why it sounded a little too quiet. So I think we got Tyrannus perhaps with a connection issue. See if he's still attached to Skype, but I cannot hear him. So, yeah, we may have lost him a little bit. But, yeah, so I think he dropped the call, and we'll just continue on. So at least it's not one of the players. And we'll try and get him a little back. And, yeah, I'll let the... I'll let Saber decide that part.
Oh, my God.
Hopefully we'll be cool anyway. And this is a countdown into a countdown. 3.
That's a pretty sick countdown.
1. It's the best. It's literally the best effect in StarCraft. It's that countdown.
There's nothing better
it's
than that.
the best design part of the game.
They couldn't have made it better. Like injects, they're kind of lame. Like, you know, things getting cut in half is whatever, but the countdown, we've got it. And it is a complete seal-off from ExtraneouS, wasn't it?
There is room. Well, you can get behind the geyser.
Oh, the geyser.
I don't know if he thinks it's a complete. Maybe not. But either way, he's 8 gating. That's the point. So he is 8 gating. The Roach Warren has actually just started. So that's not going to be ready in time to get Roach numbers out. There's no static defense, and there really isn't much in the way of other defense either. There's like 3 queens, 2 lings. That's got to tip him off that this pylon's coming down there. And yeah, the queen does see that, but there's nothing to actually be able to take the pylons out, or I don't think enough. Maybe this will do it, but I don't think he's going to get in time. Maybe, yes he will, but I don't know about all of them.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that the queen actually, I think, died. No, he's getting chased around.
Now he's
pretty close. Didn't get him though. Lings
trying to get the spine up. I think the spine will. He's going to have to wait because he's still waiting for the other 4 gates to finish. There they are, and coming up now as the spine is starting up.
Yeah, finally actually
targets
the queen. Gets the queen really quickly into the engagement. That's awesome. The roaches are being able to pop. The stalker does go down relatively quickly, and with that, there's a bunch of zealots coming in. That's about it. Once he gets roach numbers out, and he only has 1 roach on the way, 1 more, but is he going to be able to hold this? Another spine color going down. Zealots working their way through. It looks pretty good for the Protoss player.
Yeah, this is a lot of just zealots, and roaches are being made. He's trying to make all his static defense, though, at this 3rd base, and very often a Zerg will decide to sack the 3rd, and they're going to try and establish a defensive line in the natural. He's not doing that, so it could get dicier, but there are a lot of roaches being made now.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to hold this, as well as his supporting 24 lings. And once the lings get on top of the stalkers and zealots, it's going to be very difficult for the Stalkers to do what they need to do, which is take out these Roaches. Lings incoming, as the Roaches have bigger numbers of the Stalkers. They're going to be able to surround the Stalkers anyway with the Lings. And the Lings are actually going to start targeting the forward pylons if they can. No, just trying to do some dancing and not get cut in half by these Zealots. But I think Kommatiazo holds pretty easily now.
Yeah, he holds. The only thing that would be a little better, obviously, if he had Ling's speed, this would just be super easy, but it's fine now. I think he has just straight up repelled this. But he has to maneuver to make sure Lings are on Stalkers.
Yeah, and of course this is a 5-game series, so ExtraneouS, is not done just yet after this match. But, not to take the wind out of the game sails, this is pretty much GG, as speed has just been started as well as Lair. But it doesn't really matter from this point onwards. You simply don't recover at this, I don't want to say skill level, at this stage of the play from like, feeding this much into your opponent's army.
Yeah, ExtraneouS is doing this off 1 gas as well, so there's really no tech fallback that you can do. There's 1 gas and 3 gas versions of this, and this is the 1 gas.
Yeah, and it's not looking good. I mean, he's going to still keep feeding Zealots and Stalkers. He's not producing anything in the production tab. 20 Lings on the way for Kommatiazo just to short things up. Stalkers, they're pretty good, but not when they're in only such feeble numbers. And these Roaches are able to micro for days against Zealots. And even though there's a couple ones with small numbers, the Zealots have been trying to target them, and in doing so, have been taking a couple of free shots, without actually being worth their merit and cost. More Zealots warped in, so ExtraneouS is at least sticking with it. But I mean, at this point in the time, you got to say, I've got to do something different because it hasn't worked, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna. Kommatiazo's numbers just keep getting too high, and it's gonna get like that unassailable, number where it just doesn't matter. GG is called. Victory going to Kommatiazo for game number 3.
Yeah, good hold, good micro.
Gents, welcome back to this game 4 of this best of 5 series between these two players. We're going to get right into the player introduction. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Expedition Lost, representing Outset Gaming, it is the ASL's very own Kommatiazo. Currently up 2 games to 1 against his opponent.
And that opponent, which was mentioned, our orange Protoss player up here on the top right-hand corner and going for a forge at the top of his ramp, is our Chobo Team 6 player, ExtraneouS. But once again, we get the forge, and we don't have a probe out, and he's now made a cannon that is part of this wall, and I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, this is some of that type of stuff that you just kind of put in the back of your mind to not think about ever. But I like it. He's getting another pylon down, and it hasn't been scouted yet, and there is no spawning pool. So this is the first time that Kommatiazo's gotten no spawning pool, and this probe really wants to kill the creature. I forget what the name. It's called the taste lope. The taste lope. That was pretty cool, I guess. I mean, the spawning pool is on the way. I mean.
I have no idea, literally none. So there's an assimilator being taken, but that doesn't make any sense. I have no idea what's happening.
It's getting more probes out. The probe is scouting.
It's just you cannot use gas, obviously, unless there's at least a cyber core. But there's not even a gateway. But then the assimilator's done.
And there's no probes in that assimilator.
No. Now there is. And now he's getting another one.
The cannon is going to shoo away the Overlord.
This is, it's got to be an air tech. It's got to be Stargate, but...
This is the Avillo style of Protoss is what we're watching right now.
I guess so. I don't know what this is.
This is...
Obviously, he knows what this is, so we're going to see.
I mean, does he?
No, maybe not. I mean, this probe seemed to be on a mission, and it's maybe he just wanted to kill the Tastelope.
He's gonna take the gold.
He's gonna take the gold, but there's a gold being taken by Kommatiazo.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of which race benefits from gold better, I mean, it's got to be Zerg because most of their units, at least early to mid game, are going to be more mineral based. as opposed to the super important gas that Protoss is always looking for. He has, put down a pylon, so nothing's going in his main, at least for a little bit. Speed has just been started for Kommatiazo, so I mean, as a player, I mean, there's a ton of chrono boost saved up on his Nexus. I mean, just everything about this doesn't read. I can't make a read off it. I have no idea where he's going with it.
No, because he will have in excess of 600 gas before he can spend any of it. That is because he doesn't have a Cybercore started. And there it is.
I mean,
so now it's going to be closer to 700 gas before he can spend any of it. And when he spends it, it'll be 50. So I don't know what. I really don't know what's happening. I really want to see what's happening. I hope these Lings don't just attack because they would win.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to.
And I want to see where this is going.
There needs to be a cannon thrown down here on this pylon. It will pretty much instantly put a stop to this.
Yeah, at least says, that's what's going to come.
And there's a Zealot there, so I mean, for now, there's a bit of a supply block. Now the Zerg player Kommatiazo just got out of it. More Lings on the way, and there's a proxy hatch right outside his base. So special tactics coming from our Zerg player as well. I don't know exactly what, I mean, more larva, but what? Just Lings. Just throw a bunch of Lings at your opponent and
Let's see if this counts. So there we are. We hit 700 gas, like I said, and none of it has been spent yet. Not a single drop of gas has been spent. So something is going to be very gas intensive. Is this straight to High Templar?
That would be. I mean, there's a Stargate.
Stargate, yeah.
There's a Stargate.
Was the only thing that ever made sense, but it still doesn't make sense. But this.
I mean, he sees the goal now. Right. There's 3 photon cannons there. He's gonna get it surrounded with these Lings and eventually clean them up after much dying. Nexus is not gonna last very long. It's gonna, go away fairly shortly. The Lings are gonna get in on top of these drones before they start to work on it. At the same time, back home, the Stargate hasn't finished up, but 18 more Lings on the way, and I feel like all Kommatiazo has to do at this point in time is make a lot of Lings and then just a move.
Yeah, I think at this point he could go get a sandwich or something. Like, there's no...
You got some bagel bites? You might want to just put them in the oven.
Yeah, it's like one base, one Stargate at the moment. Like, obviously he could move in. And there's nothing to sell them.
Yeah, Forge is... and so +1 attack upgrade going down on the Forge, which is a ground weapon upgrade. Not going to apply to the Stargate, of course. But there's a gateway wall off here. He's going to try and make something happen to keep these Lings, doing what they're doing. Zealot's on the way. If he makes a nice little Thermopylae, he can pretty much pull a 300 Spartan if he designs it perfectly right. Which it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to do because he's there's just going to be a surface area there. There you go. Now the Lings are through. They're going to be able to surround whatever they want to surround that is not near the photon cannon, and that's, I mean, I hate to sell it, but that's GG, right?
That is GG. There we go. I'm disappointed because I wanted to see what the hell he was doing.